Hello there, my name is Rolando and I'm a musician and writer from New York City. This is assignment number 1 for the Coursera Introduction to Music Production class. In this assignment I'll be covering the topic of line level and gain structure or gain staging. And I've chosen this topic because I felt that the video lesson that was posted about gain staging was somewhat incomplete. I did not get a clear understanding as to what are the best levels for recording. This is a subject that I've had some problems with as I am new to recording. I encounter some difficulties trying to find the best levels for recording acoustic guitars, and so that's where my interest comes from. And I did my research, and this video is the result of that research. The goal when we are gain staging or setting the levels for recording is to optimize our levels so that we get a strong, clear signal with as little noise as possible. The most common method of doing this is usually just bringing your levels all the way up to clipping and then just bringing them below clipping, just a notch below clipping. This is sort of like a common method that people use. However, there are problems with this method because it doesn't take into consideration transients and the amount of headroom that you need especially for mixing. Transients are high amplitude sounds that have a very short duration. They are a sudden but very brief peak in your signal that can go about 6 dB above the overall level of your signal. So if you're recording too close to zero, let's say you are recording at -2 dB on the digital scale, in such a scenario, transients could easily reach clipping point and create noise in your recording. Keep in mind though that you need transients because they add punch to your music, they add character, and without them your music would sound dull. Headroom is sort of a buffer zone. It's the area between your highest or peaking point of the signal and the clipping point where distortion begins. It's the amount of dBs left before clipping. So transients and headroom go hand in hand together. You need headroom so that transients can move into that space without creating distortion. How much headroom do you need? Well, that's the same as asking what would be the best levels or the correct levels to record at, because the higher your levels are, the less headroom you will have. But that doesn't answer our question. Okay, let's be more specific. Most systems, professional systems, can handle peak levels of about 22 dBs before clipping. Keep in mind that we're talking dBu or analog because your initial signal will be analog, coming from a guitar, microphone, bass, drums, or some other instrument. We'll talk about digital in a little while. So if the system can handle 22 dBs and your signal is at line level 4 dBs, that means that you have 18 dBs of headroom, right? 22 minus 4 equals 18. 18 might sound like a lot of headroom, but actually it's not. In a typical mix, your music peaks might illuminate the yellow section on your mixer's meter at +10 VU, which is the equivalent of 14 dBu. But this doesn't take into consideration fast transients, which for the most part are underread by consoles by about 6 dBs, meaning that these transients will occupy 6 dB of your headroom. We call this the 6 dB overshoot. If the meter is at plus 10 VU, which means 14 dBs, and there is a 6 dB overshoot of transients, that means that your music is peaking at 20 dBs, which is only 2 dBs below clipping. And if your system actually has less than 22 dBs of headroom, you might be already clipping. Okay, up to now I've been talking analog. But what you need to know is how to make the conversion from analog to digital. It's important actually to know them both, because very often you will find yourself, like for example in live situations like recording, where you need to know how to handle a mixer and you need to know how to deal in that setup. So a lot of people, some people prefer to simply plug in through an interface into their computer and not use a mixer, but it's important to know how to use a mixer. Okay, but let's talk digital now. This is what you need to really remember. You need to know that 0 in your mixer equals line level or plus 4 dB. And that is equal in the digital scale to minus 16 fs, full scale, that's digital. That is important for you to know and to remember. So as an example, if you record at line level plus 4 dB, digitally you will be recording at minus 16 dBs. Okay, let's put it all together. I know that what everyone wants to know, and that's what I was hoping to get out of the videos, the lesson, was what are the recommended levels that you should be recording at, right? And that's something that I felt the professor didn't cover in his lesson. And so that's why I delved deeper to make this video. In my research, this is what I found. Most engineers recommend recording at levels somewhere between 18 dB to 10 dB full scale, that is digital. Other recommendations I encountered on my research include never have your master fader lower than your channel fader. And if you record at unity with the master and channel faders at unity, use the trim knob, the gain knob, as primary controller. If you record at those recommended levels on playback, probably it won't sound very loud. But what you want at the recording stage is to have a clear, strong signal without distortion, and to leave enough headroom to mix down all your tracks. Later on, at the stage of mastering your tracks, you will have plenty of chance to increase the amplitude. But that's a different subject altogether. I hope this helps you to better understand gain staging, and thanks for watching. Please write your comments, and peace out.